Good morning, philosopher. Philosophers, plural. I'm going to assume that there are more than one of you watching these. Oh, man. All right. I hope you guys are doing well today. We have another beautiful, beautiful day outside here in Texas. This is the time of the year where it's like the weather in California here for maybe a month or two, and then it goes back to oven. All right, let's continue book 5. Let's see. Oh yeah, book 5. We got a ways to go. Cool. Number 9. Not to feel exasperated or defeated or despondent because your days aren't packed with wise and moral actions, but to get back up when you fail, to celebrate behaving like a human, however imperfectly, and fully embrace the pursuit that you've embarked on. And not to think of philosophy as your instructor, but as the sponge and egg white that relieve ophthalmia, as a soothing ointment, a warm lotion. Not showing off your obedience to the Logos, but resisting in it, but resting in it. Remember, philosophy requires only what your nature already demands. What you've been after is something else again, something unnatural. But what could be preferable? That's exactly how pleasure traps us, isn't it? Wouldn't magnanimity be preferable, or freedom, honesty, prudence, piety? And is there anything preferable to that, to thought itself, to logic, to understanding? Think of their sure-footedness, their fluent stillness. I just read and I can't even do it now. Magnanimity. I just read that. First try, and then when I went back to try and say it again, I messed it up. I should have kept my mouth shut. Say less better. Oh man. Philosophy nerd joke. Okay. That is exactly how pleasure traps us, isn't it? Wouldn't magnanimity be preferable? Or freedom? Or honesty? Prudence? Piety? And is there anything preferable to thought itself, to logic, to understanding? Think of their sure-footedness, their fluent stillness. Number 10. Things are wrapped in such a veil of mystery that many good philosophers have found it impossible to make sense of them. Even the Stoics have trouble. Any assessment we make is subject to alteration, just as we are ourselves. Look closely at them, how impermanent they are. How meaningless. Things that a pervert can own, a whore, a thief. Then look at the way the people around you behave. Even the best of them are hard to put up with, not to mention putting up with yourself. In such deep darkness, such a sewer, in the flux of material, of time, of motion and things moved, I don't know what there is to value or to work for. Quite the contrary. We need to comfort ourselves and wait for disillusion, and not get impatient in the meantime, but take refuge in these 2 things. Number 1, nothing can happen to me that isn't natural. And 2, I can keep from doing anything that God and my own spirit don't approve. No one can force me to. I can keep from doing anything that God and my own spirit don't approve. No one can force me to. Number 11. What am I doing with my soul? Interrogate yourself to find out what inhabits your so-called mind and what kind of soul you have now. A child's soul, an adolescent's, a woman's, a tyrant's, the soul of a predator, or its prey. Number 12. Another way to grasp what ordinary people mean by goods. Suppose you took certain things as touchstones of goodness. Prudence, self-control, justice, and courage, say. If you understood goods as meaning those, you wouldn't be able to follow that line about so many goods. It wouldn't make any sense to you. Whereas if you'd internalized the conventional meaning, you'd be able to follow it perfectly. You'd have no trouble seeing the author's meaning and why it was funny. Which shows that most people do acknowledge a distinction, otherwise we wouldn't recognize the first sense as jarring and reject it automatically, whereas we accept the second, the one referring to wealth and the benefits of celebrity and high living, as amusing and apropos. Now go a step further. Ask yourself whether we should accept as goods and should value the things we have to think of to have the line make sense. The ones whose abundance leaves their owner with no place to shit. What? Okay, hold on. Suppose you took certain things as touchstones of goodness, prudence, self-control, justice, and courage. If you understand good as meaning those, you wouldn't be able to follow that line. My goodness. Okay, number 13. I am made up of substance and what animates it, and neither one can ever stop existing, any more than it began to. Every portion of me will be reassigned as another portion of the world, and that in turn transformed into another, ad infinitum. I was produced through one such transformation, and my parents too, and so back, and so on back, ad infinitum. In B. I don't know what in B stands for. In B. November Bravo. Colon. Still holds good, even if the world goes through recurrent cycles. Number 14. The Logos and its employment are forces sufficient for themselves and for their works. They start from their own beginning, they proceed to the appointed end. We call such activities directed, from the directness of their course. Number 15. Nothing pertains to human beings except what defines us as humans. No other things can be demanded of us. They aren't proper to human nature, nor is it incomplete without them. It follows that they are not our goal, or what helps us reach it, the good. If any of them were proper to us, it would be improper to disdain or resist it, nor would we admire people who show themselves immune to it. If the things themselves were good, it could hardly be good to give them up. But in reality, the more we deny ourselves such things and things like them, or are deprived of them involuntarily even, the better we become. Number 16. The things you think about determine the quality of your mind. Your soul takes on the color of your thoughts. Color it with a run of thoughts like these. Oh, this is good. Hold on. Getting the highlighter. The things you think about determine the quality of your mind. Your soul takes on the color of your thoughts. Color it with a run of thoughts like these. Anywhere, number 1, anywhere you can lead your life, you can lead a good one. Lives are led at court, then good ones can be. I don't know. The formatting is really weird here. It's not me reading poorly, I promise. Number 1, anywhere you can lead your life, you can lead a good one. Lives are led at court, then good ones can be. Number 2, things gravitate toward what they were intended for. What things gravitate toward is their goal. A thing's goal is what benefits it. It's good. A rational being's good is unselfishness, what we were born for. I hear all the Randians reeing right now, and I think rightfully so. What we were born for, that's nothing new, remember? Lower things for the sake of higher ones, and higher ones for one another. Things that have consciousness are higher than those that don't. And those with the Logos still higher. So my favorite part of that was the intro. The things that you think about determine the quality of your mind. The soul takes on the color of your thoughts. Color it. Well, at least I'm going to take that to mean take control of your thoughts so that you can determine the quality of your mind in a way that you want it.
Dad, I'm trying to play Minecraft, but keeping me.
Okay, I'm recording right now, so if you can't figure it out yourself, when I'm done, I will come down and help you, okay?
Okay.
Are you guys taking turns on my laptop?
Well, once Danny and Kalani were off, I wanted to get on the computer, but as soon as I opened the computer, the law Dagny shut it, so I couldn't play Minecraft.
Oh, okay. I'll come down and help when I'm done reading. Okay?
Okay.
All right, please shut the door on your way out, all right?
Okay.
All right. Sorry about that. Number 17. Yeah, I'm the only parent here right now, so we're doing dual jobs. Oh, and by the way, I realized that the names of these videos, the order has been totally screwed up. Now it's the current video is book 4/5, number 4. Don't worry about it. Just use the playlist, okay? There's a playlist on YouTube. There's a playlist on SoundCloud. It's in order there. The names are impossible. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Number 17. It is crazy to want what's impossible, and impossible for the wicked not to do so. It's crazy to want what's impossible. That's another good one. It's crazy to want what's impossible. Number 18. Nothing happens to anyone that he can't endure. The same thing happens to other people, and they weather it unharmed, out of sheer obliviousness or because they want to display character. Is wisdom really so much weaker than ignorance and vanity? Number 19. Things have no hold on the soul. They have no access to it, cannot move or direct it. It is moved and directed by itself alone. It takes the things before it and interprets them as it sees fit. Number 20. In a sense, people are our proper occupation. Our job is to do them good and put up with them. But when they obstruct our proper tasks, they become irrelevant to us, like sun, wind, animals. Our actions may be impeded by them, but there can be no impeding our intentions or our dispositions, because we can accommodate and adapt. The mind adapts and converts to its own purposes the obstacle to our acting. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. That is very core to Stoicism, and some of the best life advice in 2 sentences you'll ever get. Let me read number 20 again, just because I want to make sure I got it all. In a sense, people are our proper occupation. Our job is to do them good and put up with them. But when they obstruct our proper tasks, they become irrelevant to us, like sun, wind, and animals. Our actions may be impeded by them, but there can be no impeding our intentions or our dispositions, because we can accommodate and adapt. The mind adapts and converts to its own purposes, the obstacle to our acting. And then the big quote, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. That's a way to look at all of your problems. Not as something preventing you from moving forward, but the way to move forward. Number 21. Honor that which is greatest in the world, that on whose business all things are employed and by whom they are governed. And honor what is greatest in yourself, the part that shares its nature with that power. All things in you as well are employed about its business, and your life is governed by it. Number 22. If it does not harm the community, it does not harm its members. When you think you've been injured, apply this rule. If the community isn't injured by it, neither am I. And if it is, anger is not the answer. Show the offender where he went wrong. This is like an erasure of the self, the individual, which I despise. There's a big commitment to society in Stoicism that I think is misplaced and unhealthy. It's just a repeated part of it. Number 23. Keep in mind how fast things pass by and are gone, those that are now and those to come. Existence flows past us like a river. The what is in constant flux. The why has 1,000 variations. Nothing is stable, not even what's right here. The infinity of past and future gapes before us, a chasm whose depths we cannot see. So it would take an idiot to feel self-importance or distress, or any indignation either, as if the things that irritate us lasted. Number 24. Remember, matter, how tiny your share of it. Time, how brief and fleeting your allotment of it. Fate, how small a role you play in it. Okay. There's a lot of good stuff in there. A lot of good stuff and a lot of wrong stuff in today's readings. And that's fine. That's why we read. Not to agree with everything. How boring would that be? Okay. Today is, this is the 26th of the month. The month is winding down, so I kind of went back and I reviewed every day in the month, starting out with my goals for the month. My goals were clarity of mind, tranquility, taking care of hard things, reinforcing habits, and eliminating all procrastination. And this has been a really successful month in terms of those goals. Man, I have kicked ass in terms of those goals this month. The theme is also my personal motto, the "We wear you and wear some we was wincome." So my goal, my thought for today is, I think the worst that I've done this month has been, there's a couple of my habits, namely journaling, that has slipped. Like I've just felt like at the end of the day, man, I just don't have anything to write about today. I don't have anything I want to journal about today. And that's either fine or that's me being lazy and making an excuse. And I need to figure out which one it is and act and change the habit accordingly. But all the other habits that I've worked on this month have been really good. So my organizational bullet journaling, my philosophy reading, my think times, getting sun, and my reading have all been going great. I've almost done that every month. There's a couple of the 15s. We talked about the 15s where I eat these large obstacles a tiny bite at a time each day. There's a couple of those that I just keep putting off, though, mainly because I don't know what the next steps are on them, and that's not good. So today is habit reinforcement day. I'm going to go and I'm going to make sure that every single habit on my list is done, and if it's not done, I'm going to figure out and I'm going to get to the bottom of why. Either maybe that habit needs to be gotten rid of or modified so that progress can continue on everything. I'm also at this new and kind of cool place that I haven't really been before. This month I've focused so much on good thought practices around the things I'm concerned about, the problems in my life, the things external to me that are mostly out of my control. I've got plans in place for all of them. I've achieved a place of sort of mental peace and tranquility with the things that that concern me that are coming in the future. I've got plans in place on how to handle them. The ones that I do have some control over, I've taken that control and I've executed my plan, or at least, begun executing the plan successfully. So I'm at this weird place where, like, there's some bad things happening in life. There's some problems, there's some concerns, but I've got it all handled. I'm on top of it. Man, it's a hell of a feeling. It's weird almost. It's like I'm feeling really peaceful right now. I'm really tranquil right now. It's almost like this stuff works. I'm going to take some time today to just appreciate that. The work and the effort that I've gone through the past month seems to be working. This is amazing. And I'm in a really good place. And also what that means is that life is probably about to throw something else at me. And I saw a good quote about that. The quote is, "If trouble comes knocking, let it find you home." And I think that's a really, really good way to look at it. So now that I've climbed on top of all of the obstacles that are in front of me, and I'm having a moment of feeling like I'm in control and feeling tranquil about life, something's probably about to happen. But whatever that is, I can handle it, and that trouble, when it comes knocking, it's going to find me home, and I'm going to destroy it. All right, guys, I hope you have a great day. I will talk to you soon.